My name is Reverend Nancy Lucille. I'm the pastor of this church and warmly welcome you into this space tonight as we all have a wonderful opportunity to hear from Issa Amro. I hope everyone finds comfort in this space. There is some coffee over by Amen, where you all checked in when you arrived this evening. There are bathrooms in the building that is parallel to us right now. So if you need to make use of the bathroom, feel free to exit through that door and basically walk around in a U shape, following signs to the bathroom. Let's see, what else? There are many pamphlets. There's much information and networking happening here tonight. So please do take time to share information with one another, to greet each other at the conclusion of our evening. And I think that's it for me. Does anyone have questions for the good of the group before we get started? All right. Nor, I'd like to welcome you forward this evening to welcome our guest.
Good evening, everyone. As Nancy kindly mentioned, my name is Noor Fadoumi. I am co-founder of Real Return, and I have the honor of being your MC for this special night. To begin, we would like to extend our heartfelt gratitude to the First Presbyterian Church and Nancy for graciously allowing us to use the space to foster dialogue and a sense of community surrounding Palestinian activism. Your support makes tonight's gathering possible. I would also like to express my deep appreciation for Miko Peled, president of the organization called Palestine House of Freedom that is based in Washington, D.C., for orchestrating Issa's U.S. tour. It is so important for us to learn from Native Palestinians about their struggle. Another sincere thanks to John Fossil, a board member of Palestine House of Freedom and a dedicated member of Real Return, an organization I am honored to be a part of. And now I'm going to thank the endorsers of this event. I would like to thank Middle East Crisis Committee promoting Enduring Peace, We Will Return, Ma'aruf CT, Veterans for PCT, Hartford Jewish Organizing Collective, Connecticut Labels Palestine, Jewish Voice of Palestine in New Haven, Connecticut Palestine Alliance, Healthcare Workers for Palestine, and the Connecticut Palestine Solidarity Coalition. All of your invaluable efforts in helping organize tonight's event are greatly appreciated. It is such a privilege to introduce someone truly inspiring tonight. Issa Amro is a passionate advocate for human rights and nonviolent activism. He's been working tirelessly to make a difference in Hebron and for all of Palestine, standing up for justice, empowering communities with his incredible organization, HebronFriends.org, in the U.S. This initiative educates the public and leaders about Hebron's historical and political challenges, highlighting nonviolence as a path to ending the Israeli occupation and achieving justice under international law. In Hebron, this organization supports families in hardship, strengthens civil society, empowers activists, and informs visitors about the region's history and struggle. So I would like to give a round of applause and introduce Issa to come up.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Noor. It's my honor to know you. You are a great young activist for justice in Palestine and all over the world. I want to thank the organizers for this event, but I want to thank more all the American people who are showing solidarity with the Palestinian people, who are really making a huge difference. Okay, it's okay.
Oh, you got it?
I got it. Yeah. Who are making a huge difference here in the United States and back home in Palestine. I want to tell you that my people in Palestine, whenever they know that there is a solidarity, activity, action, media, social media about Palestine, they stop me in the street and tell me, Issa, your friends back home, in their countries are doing great. We are not alone. We are not dying in silence. the Israeli occupation is losing the narrative all over the world. So you will be surprised that a normal Palestinian who doesn't follow politics will know about Columbia University students, about Harvard University students, about your activism, about your work, not only here in the US, all over the world. I'm an activist since 2003, and I was really working hard to convince my people about the importance of doing outreach. They were saying it's useless, what are you talking about? They all know and they don't act. Now we see many people, they know more, they act more, and they have impact on the Israeli occupation and on the Israeli apartheid. I will say something else very important, that me personally, I'm still an activist. I'm still, staying in my house in Hebron and in Tel Rumeda, and I'm not in jail, and I'm not killed because of you. This is Issa, okay? Because of your activism, because of your great work, and I hope that you consider every Palestinian as Issa. I am not the hero of the Palestinian non-violence resistance, and I'm not the hero of the Palestinians. There are many great Palestinian activists, non-violence organizers all over Palestine. From the farmers in Jimba. Jimba, it's very far from Hebron. It's around 2 hours and a half in the desert. The farmers there in South Mount Hebron, maybe you saw part of it in the film No Other Land. Jimba, it's a small, not village, small compound. The Israelis are working, the Israeli occupation, to deport them from their land, to expel them, to harass them. The recent attack, I'm mentioning Jimba because it's the most recent attack was on that small village. They arrested 22 Palestinians, they beat up the kids, the women, but the families, they stayed and remain. So each farmer farming his land is Gandhi and is a non-violence activist, and we should mention them by names. Each woman who supports her kids, her children, and protect them to go to school, to pass the checkpoint, they are all doing great work to counter the Israeli policies of forcing Palestinians to leave their lands. So it's not only Issa Amro. There are many people who do great work, but they don't speak English. They speak Arabic, and they are busy with their land, with their schools, with their work, with their life. I'm here to update you about what's going on the ground, because we follow the news and we follow what's going on. And it's not easy to follow the news these days. You know what's going on in Gaza? The Israeli occupation is destroying Gaza. And recently, breaking the silence, an Israeli human rights organization published testimonies from Israeli soldiers about what they are doing in Gaza, how they are destroying a huge amount of area just for fun, just to make buffer zone, even outside of their planning. The soldiers, they have the initiative to destroy more. And Gaza situation is really a crazy situation. But I'm from West Bank. I will tell you my personal experience in the West Bank and what's going on in the West Bank. Many people think that the Palestinian history started after October 7th. No. It didn't start. Or our suffering started in October 7th as Palestinian. I want to tell you, Hebron, for me as a child, growing up in Hebron, in a family who my parents wanted me not to do any type of politics. They wanted me to be a good student in the school, to study engineering and to become a professor in engineering. That was my life dream, to become a professor in engineering. And I was doing well in school. Till the Ibrahimi Mosque massacre, 1994. When Baruch Goldstein, do you know who's Baruch Goldstein? Baruch Goldstein is an American, Israeli, Jewish doctor who broke into the Ibrahimi Mosque, killed 29 Palestinians and hundreds were injured. His massacre made the Israeli occupation punish the victims by dividing the mosque, confiscating all the external yards of the mosque, and closing the streets and the markets in Hebron. So I hope that you come and visit, or send anybody who blindly supporting the occupation to Hebron and to West Bank to see the reality of the Israeli occupation. So in Hebron, we have 22 checkpoints in less than 1 square kilometer, more than 100 movement barriers. That's before October 7th. Segregated streets, separated streets. I'm not allowed to walk in the streets where I grew up or where I was raised. The house where I was born, I can see it, but I'm not allowed to enter it because it's a closed military zone. They named the streets Hebrew names. So imagine that they name your street, your neighborhood, and they rename it from Palestinian Arabic name to an Israeli Hebrew name. So I was born in Babil Khan. It's now Emek Hebron in my lifetime. Our streets renamed to Hebrew names. They're changing, the names of our own streets in our lifetime. We still exist. Around 1,000 Palestinian apartments became empty. So when we say Palestinians ethnic cleansing, many people disagree here. But what it means that a certain people left their homes because of the continuous harassment and the continuous attacks and the continuous no life, I call it. More than 1,800 shops closed because of the closure policy. I'm talking about before October 7th, okay? Then they started using surveillance to spy on us, to monitor us, to profile us, and using artificial intelligence with very advanced cameras, with the special systems to profile us. Red wolf, blue wolf. Look to the names, wolf. They use, unfortunately, they describe their work in an ugly way. White wolf. So I discovered that. I discovered these systems. And I discovered that they are using us as a lab. We call it in engineering terms simulation. They do simulation. They test this technology on us with remote control guns. Then they sell it all over who needs it. All of that was happening before October 7th. And they were using the idea of that you don't feel safe, you don't have social life, and no services, and no national identity. That is what they were doing to us. It's all before October 7th, and many Israelis were disconnecting themselves from Baruch Goldstein, the Kahana, Meir Kahana, Party was announced here in the US by the State Department as a terrorist organization. You know when they removed them from that terrorist list? 2022. When the Otzma Yehudit, Smotrich, and Itamar Ben-Gvir, who are the followers of Meir Kahane, were winning the election. You know, they saw that they are winning the election. Instead of cutting their funds and outlaw them more, they removed them from the terrorist list. So they got more money, more support, and they won the election. And who's the mainstream now in Israel? It's Baruch Goldstein followers and supporters. This is something very important. Those ones who believed in his massacre and they built a tomb for him in Kiryat Arba and they celebrate his anniversary, they are the mainstream in Israel and they are the leaders of Israel these days. And today, one of them, her name is Orit Strock. Her daughter accused her of sexual abuse. This Orit Strock, her son, 20 years ago, raped a Palestinian child in Nablus, and he was defended, the son, the oppressor, by his parents and by his community. The same son was accused, and the father was accused, and the mother was accused of abusing their children. It's in the media now. And she filed a complaint. Look how what they do to us, it comes to them at the end. So the situation in Hebron was very bad, very hard, and impossible to stay and remain. In spite of all of that, Palestinian families remained, resisted the policies. So we started campaigning using non-violence resistance. I started activism from university because my dream was to become a professor. I was in the engineering college till I went to my university. I found the Israeli military in 2003, closed it for good. And for me, to start protesting was about my education. It was not about occupation. It was about education. I wanted my degree. Nowadays, the Palestinian university students and the Palestinian school students, they fight to go to their schools. They fight to go to their universities. Because for Palestinians, educational degree is very, very important. So when Netanyahu said the war is between the civilized people and the uncivilized people, he was talking about himself, describing himself as uncivilized because they are the ones who demolished universities, demolished schools, killed children, targeted civilians, targeted everything in Gaza and the West Bank. I will update you about West Bank more. So we are taking care of our education. That made me graduate after I led the students to reopen the university against the Israeli military. Well, I graduated as an engineer and as an activist. And by time I started establishing tactics, strategies, how to make the occupation costly. Some people tell me, Issa, what we can do here in the US? I tell them, I can't tell you. Be creative. Make fighting the occupation part of your daily routine. Make it as a routine. And be wise. How to do it and what to do. And the gap between the Israelis and the Palestinians is so high. And the imbalance is the main reason we don't have peace. Because they don't need peace. Why they do peace? They occupy the land, they control our electricity, they control our water, they control our import, our export, they use us as a cheap labor, they do whatever they want without any accountability. So start leveling up Palestinians. leveling up Palestinian voices, leveling up Palestinian doctors, Palestinian engineers, Palestinian economy, Palestinian art. I want you to treat Palestinians as a nation, not as animals. Animals, they seek shelter and food. Nations seek freedom. For me, it's about freedom. It's about equality. It's about justice. So the Palestinians should be treated as a nation, not as animals. Now they are treating us as animals, not as nation. So we are a nation with history, with future, with present, with traditions, with culture, with history. This is the Palestinian people. So after October 7th, in the morning of October 7th, I work as electrical engineer. My daily job, my paid job is electrical engineer. So it was Saturday. I went to work in the morning. I thought it's a normal day of, a small war. I went outside my house in Tel Rumeda. Then I heard about something big happening. So I decided to go back home at noon. I was coming back. I saw my neighbors not entering the area because the main roads are already closed. And I was using already closed before October 7th. Then I got closer. I saw 4 settlers in an army uniform. My neighbors who live very close to me, they were in an army uniform. They pushed me back and they told me I'm not allowed to come back to my house. Gaza war is just happening, and what the settlers in Hebron were thinking about to take my house. This is what they did. This is what was in their mind. So they prevented me from getting in to my house. So I decided to go around from another path to reach my house. And unfortunately, I was ambushed. How I was ambushed? A soldier came to me, told me, Issa, what's going on? I told him, I want to go to my house. He told me, Issa, come in. What is the problem? So I felt that soldier is trying to help me. So I walked with him to reach my house. The point I reached outside the house, many soldiers and settlers in an army uniform, Israeli settlers in an army uniform, jumped on me. They kidnapped me. They kidnapped Issa, who is a peaceful activist, who believes in nonviolence resistance, who meet many Jewish groups in his house, many Israeli groups in his house, and he's known to the soldiers and all of the settlers that he's not supporting violence. For them, it was an opportunity, as now, to use the war to get rid of their enemies. So I was kidnapped, handcuffed to the back, blindfolded, and for the first time, I was gagged. You know what it means, gagged? As a donkey, as an animal. And they took me to the military base next to my house. I know it by heart. I was arrested many times. I have the experience. I know how to deal with them. But that day was so special. One of them came from behind. I was sitting in a small chair, very cold room, very cold air conditioning, and he tied the plastic ties, the plastic cuffs, to maximum. The plastic cuffs went in my skin. Why? It's so painful. Then he came to the piece of clothes they used to gag me. He tied it more. He came to my eyes cover. It's a piece of clothes. he tightened it more, to the point that I had a headache because of it. But what was so painful was the handcuffs. So each person from Gaza who I see them being released with their hands marked, I feel what happened to them. I know it. But people in Gaza who were detained, some of them spent few months handcuffed and legs chained without taking it off. And they were sexually assaulted as they did to me. Maybe they did more to them. And they tortured them as they tortured me. I was beaten. They spat at me. I fainted 2 times from pain. And I'm a strong man. I fainted 2 times from pain. And they didn't give me any medical treatment. What surprised me a lot, we have physicians here, they were listening to music when they were torturing me. Really. The military base was boo, 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 music, dancing music, loud music. And they were rejoicing, torturing, I can say that, the most famous human rights defender in Palestine and Israel. I'm one of the most famous human rights defenders. To them especially, because I'm always in the news, in the Israeli news, about my human rights work. They were rejoicing doing that to me. And to be very honest, I was very shy to talk about it. Because, in one hand, I see the people in Gaza being killed. Blood is a lot. On the other hand, I was shy. In our culture, we don't talk about sexual harassment. And a man being sexually harassed and assaulted by soldiers, it's a shame. I started talking about it maybe after 2 or 3 weeks. You know why? Because I found out it's a phenomenon. It happened to many, many Palestinian women and Palestinian men. And to be very honest, that October 7th, that day, I felt it's my last moment. But what helped me was that I told myself, Issa, you were on the right side of history. You are a defender. You tried to help. You did your best to make the change. So I tell all of you, you are all Issa. When you feel that you are going to die, you will feel that you contributed a lot to humanity, to justice, to equality. This is what helped me in my last moments, because they put the gun on my head and they were counting to 10, triggering the trigger, pushing it. So I was saying, okay. And when they came to release me after the midnight, it was from the midday to the midnight. So I was shaking. So I told the soldiers, I'm shaking not because I'm afraid of you. I'm shaking because you brought me from inside to outside because it's cold. Give me a jacket. I want to die when you see me very strong. I'm not afraid of you. And I said many, many other things to them. Okay? And one of them told me, no, you will not die. I know the soldiers. And he was the deputy of the Israeli military unit. He said, no, who says that you will be killed? I told him, because you are releasing me from the field, so I go a few meters, you shoot me outside the military base. I was released, I went home for 1 week without medication, without food. They closed the house completely. They restricted me from going outside the apartment to the yard. Not only me. The majority of the Palestinian families in H2, in Hebron, were not allowed for anything. Even one woman miscarried. They didn't let her go to hospital to deliver her baby. News is not talking about that. News is not talking that I'm gaining weight because I'm not able to walk freely in the streets in Hebron because my life is in danger. Not only me, many other Palestinians. From Hebron, we hear the jets. We hear the bombs. We hear how they kill the babies and the women and the civilians in Gaza. It's very hard feeling. Each time I hear a noise of jet or a plane, I say, oh my God, I hope that they don't kill someone. Because we hear it in Hebron all the time. My house caged completely. And our activist center almost closed. And after a few days of October, the second week, look to this, okay? This is very important. 2 army commanders, officers, high officers came to my house. I was alone. I didn't have food. They didn't allow my Israeli friends, who I called them to come to bring me food, to reach my house. They reached, but they beat them up and they stole the food from them. So they wanted me to starve. What they are doing now, they are doing starvation of the people in Gaza. It's a policy. The soldiers in Hebron did it before they started planning about starvation in Gaza. It's part of their genes. It's in the genes. I told you, October 7th, the first thing, their reaction was to kidnap Issa. To revenge, to use the opportunity that everybody is busy with another bigger action to do whatever they want. He came to me, told me, Issa, we are very afraid about you. Your life is in danger. Thank you. Yes, I'm very afraid. Will you put soldiers to protect me? He said, I don't trust the soldiers. Maybe the soldiers will kill you. I told him, oh my God, you don't control your soldiers? He said, it's very dangerous now. I want to advise you to leave your house for a few weeks. Till the end of the war. I told him, thank you very much. It's a great offer. Yes, I want to leave. Can you facilitate that? He said, yes. So, okay, can you bring me a car to go to Jerusalem? Because I have friends there. They will welcome me there. To Jerusalem? Al-Quds? No, not Al-Quds. Go somewhere else. I said, no. If I want to go, I will go to Jerusalem or Tel Aviv. Take me inside Israel. Why I said that? Because their main goal was to take me outside my house and throw me somewhere else and take my house. And one of them was Duruz. He told me, Issa, why you don't want to leave? I told him, what? Do you remember 48? He said, what 48? I told him, Palestinians were asked to leave their homes for a few days during the war. Until now, they are not able to come back to their homes. So we faced, as Palestinians, deportation. We were expelled from our houses in 48 and 67, and now they want to repeat it again. They want us to leave Gaza and to leave certain areas in the West Bank, Sinai, few years in Sinai, then you come back. Palestinians refused. You know why? Because we have experience as Palestinians. So what they are doing in West Bank now, they are making the life more miserable. So we have around 900. So Hebron model became bigger all over West Bank. And that was the plan of Smotrich and Ben-Gvir and Netanyahu before the war. To keep Palestinians in ghettos, closed, sieged, as Gaza used to be. 900 gates and checkpoints all over the West Bank. So to move from one city to another, you have to pass checkpoints. Roads are closed. Palestinians are not able to travel. Huge travel restrictions on Palestinians in the West Bank. So to make the life of the people harder. Palestinian workers are not able to work. Palestinian economy became very weak. They almost destroyed the economy. They reduced the amount of water they sell to Palestinians because they are controlling the water aquifers, the water wells. In Area C, because West Bank is divided to A, B, and C, A under the Palestinian Authority, B under the Palestinian Authority, only civilian affairs, C under completely the Israeli military control. But after October 7th, Palestine from the river to the sea under the Israeli military control. Today, they arrested 22 Palestinians from 48 for protesting peacefully against the Israeli war in Gaza and genocide in Gaza. So, restrictions, no movement, no water, enough water, no enough electricity for Palestinians, import and export is much, much less. In Hebron, the majority of the checkpoints are closed. I don't have visitors in my house. People are afraid, no services, no free of journalism, and at the same time, it's the year of annexation. They destroyed and demolished more than 1,000 Palestinian structures. They donated money, they gave money to the Israeli outposts. Around 7 billion shekels, your tax money, were given to Israeli settlements to build roads. 114 new kilometers of illegal roads. The Israeli military raiding Palestinian houses, raiding Palestinian cities, and after they finish, they draw the Stars of David on the houses. They are acting as militia. So in one hand, they demolish the Palestinian houses. In the other hand, they build more and more Israeli settlements. In 2024, this is the last thing I will say, then we go to questions. They declared 24,000 dunams as a state land. 24,000. That is the half of the amount of land which was declared as a state land from Oslo till 2024. To understand what they are doing on the ground. But Palestinians are remaining, they are staying, and it's about the land, and we are not leaving the land. About the narrative, we are winning the narrative. Israel is accused of genocide. The Israeli Prime Minister is wanted to the International Criminal Court. Israel is labeled as an apartheid state. No other land won Oscar. A Palestinian narrative film won Oscar, and Palestinians are winning the moral part of this dilemma. We are going, to win, and we are winning because of you, because of your work, because of your determination, because of that. We all together can make a change. And thank you very much.
So before I open up for Q&A, I would like to mention that there is a small flyer available with the QR code for donating to Issa's Hebron's Friends organization, where they support Palestinians and fight for justice. So if everyone can see, they're passing them out right now, so there's a QR code to donate, as well as you can also write a check that is made out to Working for Peace and Justice, the US-based 501c3 supporting Friends of Hebron. All the checks in cash will be handed to John Fossil all the way at the back. He has his hand up right here, it's waiting for you. So, so please feel free to donate. This organization helps so many people in Hebron and spreads the word in the US as well. So now we have around 30 minutes for Q&A, so if anyone would want to ask questions, feel free now to.
Yes, please.
There are some sites on YouTube that explain how the Israelis made the body count much higher than it would have been on those attacks by Hamas. And they say that they have the Hannibal Doctrine that doesn't allow the military to accept hostages taken by Palestinians. They are ordered to shoot those hostages and make it look like Hamas did it. And there are pictures on YouTube showing some of the cars that the Israelis were going to leave in, that went to the music festival and lived there, were shot from above, like by an Apache helicopter. Just totally destroyed the cars with the people in them. So I was asking you now, what other evidence do you have that the Israelis staged it, knew Hamas is going to attack, because they can monitor all the communications there? Can you add anything to the YouTube?
Okay, can you repeat his question?
Repeat the question.
I think we need to, so everyone can hear what you asked. Do you mind repeating the question so he can respond to a question we heard?
Sure.
Thank you. Sorry.
My question, and what I'm interested in, is the Israelis are using the attack to justify genocide. And there are sites on YouTube that show, because of the Hamel doctrine, the Israelis don't tolerate Palestinians taking hostages. And they're using the Hamel doctrine to machine gun cars that were filled with the music festival Israelis and people that live there to bring the death toll up to 1,200 people. And I was wondering if you or your fellows knew of more evidence that the Israelis staged it.
There are a lot of evidence that Hannibal policy, it's only in Israel. When Palestinian kidnap soldiers or civilians, the soldiers are allowed to kill both. And many investigations are coming out from the Israeli military. For the first time, I was shocked when I heard that the Israeli Knesset refused to do an official investigation about what happened on October 7th. So Netanyahu and his people, they are delaying and they are putting obstacles in Israel to investigate what happened in October 7th. But me, Issa, I'm against killing or targeting any civilians. So I don't want to discuss that. But they did use Hannibal, which means many Israeli civilians were killed, and wait till the investigation results. Something else, the Israeli head of Shabak, on the night of October 7th, was in his office. He was working that night. So before the morning, he was in his office. But I don't want to get into that. I want to say that genocide is not justified. There is no way to justify targeting civilians. And Israel is doing it not because of what happened in October 7th. Israel kidnapped me. What is my relation to October 7th? I'm in Hebron, peaceful, non-violence activist. Look to Jenin. People in Jenin, they destroyed the camp. They destroyed the camps in Tulkarem. Yesterday, they are getting into Nablus to destroy the camps and to kill Palestinians. In West Bank, they killed more than 1,000 Palestinians after October 7th. Among them, around 200 children. That's in West Bank. So Israel is using the excuse of October 7th to make Israel from the river to the sea. That's what they want. This is main, and they they have fantasy to transfer Palestinians from Gaza to Egypt and from West Bank. They don't talk about Gaza only. They talk about West Bank as well. West Bank to Jordan. And they are pushing us away from Area C. They are pushing us away from Area B. 9 new outposts for the first time established in Area B, an area under the Palestinian Authority control. They demolished houses in Area B. So this is the situation which all the Israelis, and today and yesterday, and it was CNN. In CNN, imagine Israeli soldiers, reservists, pilots. The Air Force soldiers are the ones who are elite in Israel. So they signed a letter asking the Israeli government to stop the war on Gaza and to bring back the hostages and do, in Israel there is a mainstream that all for all Palestinian prisoners, they go home, all the Israeli hostages go back home. I'm with that. I want all the Israeli hostages to go back to their families. Me, Issa. In the same time, I want all the Palestinian prisoners to go back to their families, because we should have equal measures about any human beings. But in the Israeli jails, we have 3,500 Palestinians in administrative detention. Among them, children and women. You know what it means, administrative detention? It means you are in jail and you don't know why. And you don't know for how long. So they are hostages. We have Palestinian hostages in the Israeli jails. So everybody on earth should talk about them as well. So those soldiers, they are saying, this is not my words, it's the Israeli soldiers, it's a political war in Gaza. It's not for security. There is no need to reestablish the war on the people in Gaza. They are Israelis. Yair Golan, 2016, Yair Golan was the deputy of the Israeli military. You know what it means, the deputy of the Israeli military? In the Holocaust Memorial Day, he came with a written paper. He says, I see fascism among us here. I see 1930s, 1940s of Europe among us here. This is 2016. Now it's 10 times more. Fascism, aggression, apartheid, supremacy toward the Palestinians. And something very important, this tells us that Israel is not defending itself. And Israel doesn't care about the Jews. They are increasing anti-Semitism everywhere, not us. Our moral is our struggle is really holy. Morals, anti-Semitism is not part of our struggle for freedom. In the contrary, we want the Jews to be part of our struggle. And we see them like that. So for us as Palestinians, Islamophobia, anti-Semitism equals racism. And who is making friendship with the German fascist groups, with the European fascist group, who are Netanyahu and his gangs? You know, they are making relationship with fascist leaders in the world. We don't as Palestinians, and we don't do it, and we don't want to do it. They are the ones who are putting Jews in danger, not us. So this is something very important, that we don't want to be trapped about what happened on October 7th. We are very sorry about all the Israelis who were killed in October 7th. We don't want to justify anything. And there is no justification to kill any civilian. And there is no justification to do the genocide in Gaza. Who is refusing peace is not the Palestinians. We opened our arms for peace. We want to live in equality. We want freedom as Palestinians. It's not about October 7th. So if we remove Hamas, if we remove all the people in Gaza, will Palestinians have peace? I want one to tell me yes. No.
I'm sorry, I just want to open up to another question for anyone. Okay.
Two questions.
One by one.
The first one is simple. How hard or how easy is it for you to travel? Restrictions to come to the United States? And will there be a backlash as when you go back, knowing that you have been here and you have talked about this? That's question one. Question two, do you think there is a difference between the Trump administration and the Biden administration vis-a-vis Israel and Iran?
Yes, good questions. Okay, first, I lost my brother during the war. he had a stroke. And he was visiting Ukraine. His name is Ahmad. And he was very close to me. Okay? And he was active with Youth Against Settlements, with us in the movement. But before the war, he went to Ukraine, to my other brother who lives there. Ahmad called me after the war. He has a huge influence on me and told me, Issa, leave the house. Your life is more important than the house. I told him, no. My life equals my house. We both agreed that I come back to the house, and he watched the cameras on the night to protect me. He passed away, and I'm here. So don't worry about the results or the consequences of your activism. Do the right thing in the right way, and be very careful, and be ready to pay the price. There is no change without being willing to pay the price. You become the enemy of the state. To be very honest, I am the enemy of the state. Last year, I almost lost my life too. They tried to kill me, and people in my community saved me, but I have metal plate with 12 screws in my shoulder now. I have backbone injury, I have legs injury. I was almost beaten and hit and shot at many times, but I have 7 lives. Okay? It's not that I have 7 lives or I'm an extraordinary person. No, it's about that I believe in making a change. I believe in that I was born not selfish. I was born to help my people. I'm using my fame, I'm using my skills to make the occupation costly. So whatever they do to me, I really care. I was crying on October 7th when they were torturing me, but I was strong from inside. To come here, it was a nightmare. I was questioned by the Palestinian Authority security forces, and they decided to send me back. Then I was questioned by the Israeli intelligence. Where are you going? What are you doing? And all these questions. What you did the last time you traveled? What are you planning to do? All this, in spite that I pass that checkpoint in Hebron every day. I get into my house from metal detector with facial recognition, with body search, every day. So I'm used to security. Then I was questioned by the Jordanian and delayed by the Jordanian. Okay, I am nominated to Nobel Peace Prize, and look how they treat me. Imagine other Palestinians. Many Palestinians are ill-treated, tortured, beaten, but nobody talks about them. So a very famous Palestinian human rights defender, they make his life hell. Why? They don't want me to reach you. They don't want us to work together and make a global movement for justice or for equality or for freedom. When I come back, let them do whatever they want. 2016, they went after me and they indicted me with 18 military charges. I was facing 10 years jail time. You know what? I had 2 options. Go low profile and do agreement. I stop my activism. This is what they wanted. Maybe a few months in jail, I leave. Or I go very high profile and challenge them, confront them to the end. I did that. 5 years of trial. I made it a big deal. I made it as part of my struggle. I won. I defeated them in the military court. And if I go back, they put me in jail, hunger strike till I die. Then the democracy and the human rights and about non-violence they talk about, they will stop talking about it. So we should be willing to pay the price if we do the right thing. They may arrest me. They many times arrested me and beat me and intimidated me. They arrested many Palestinians. They killed many Palestinian human rights defenders. They are occupation. What is more than to occupy other nation and do genocide? So, but our struggle is a moral struggle, and I am very strong because of you. To be very honest, because of your activism, because of your work. So continue, do what are you doing. But one recommendation, be united. I know sometimes division here and there. No, I want everybody to be united about the path toward freedom. Don't look to what we believe at the end. Because now we are not there yet. 1 state, 2 states, 20 states, whatever you want to call it. Now let's be united about the methodology of making occupation costly. Because they don't want any peace. They don't need it. Even they make money because of the occupation. They make profit from occupation. So let's work together, be united in every small action, tweet, social media, eyewitness visit, all the work you do. Be united, regardless of your religion. I see here Christians, Jews, Muslims. I see other people here. Everybody, people who don't believe. This is a moral cause. It's about that you are writing your name in the right side of history. And be united. Don't listen to the voices which they're trying to divide the Palestinian solidarity movement here.
All right, so due to time constraint, so there's one more question that he asked about, do you see a difference between the Trump administration and the Biden administration?
This question, American can answer it. I see Trump as a very bad leader for our cause, but to be very honest, Biden was worse.
All right, so we're going to open up to one more question.
We have another question there.
Right here, okay.
First, thank you so much for coming all the way here. It really is a huge honor for everyone here. And thank you everyone for being here. My question is about organization. And you built an organization, you and many people, Youth Against Settlements, that's, I don't know, 20, 30 years old. You've been doing this for a long time. Right now, in this country, more people are afraid. Nonetheless, you and your organization, you've been able to keep doing this despite the fear, despite the arrest, despite everything. I'm not asking you to tell us what to do, because I think that all of us are responsible for being creative, as you said. But when it comes to that fear, and I know in your previous answer you spoke to it a bit, but what do you say to Americans who are now more afraid of our government, based on your experience in the past 20 years in, as you said, going micro lab?
We are humans, and we all have fear. Never, ever let your fear control you. Never. You know, I live in my house in Tel Romeda. My window is with concrete. I bought stones. I'm afraid in my bed, but my fear doesn't control me. I control it. And doing more actions, doing more activities, and show your opponent that you are very strong, they fear you, not the opposite. And there is no change without sacrifice. There is no change. If you want to make a change, if you want to make an enemy, try to change something. And we are all together stronger. I was in Harvard School, Harvard University, and I met the students, and they were very afraid. I was in MIT, I met the students, and they were very afraid. My message to them was, students with community are much stronger to community alone or student alone. And be ready to fight till the end. And to be very honest, I know the Trump kind leaders. They are cowards. When they saw hands of protest all over the United States, he started stepping back. When he will see hands-on, more protests, more actions, more visibility, it will change. They fear you. They are much afraid than us. They don't believe in what they are doing. They are making profit from it. So to be very honest, we are doing the right thing on the right time in the right place. We need you here to be strong. We need your voice to be loud, that we hear it back home. And we promise you that we will not give up. We will not leave our land, and we will not let them take us easy from our houses. So this is something very important, that we all together are much stronger, and we don't allow them to, take us one by one. If they target one, it means they target us all. In that way, one for all for one. In that way, we can make a change, a big change, that our fear doesn't control us. We continue our path, and we continue to make the change. Are we making a big change? Yes. Fox News, a few days ago, showed a clip from the ambulance attack when they killed 15 Palestinian paramedics. I was shocked about how Fox News covered the story. So they're changing. They put it in because they know they can't hide the truth forever. So this is something very important. And be ready to pay. I don't see myself living without a passion. I can't. I enjoy it. I enjoy what I'm doing. I enjoy that I am in the right path. And I am enjoying that I wrote my name in the defender list. You did, and you are doing, so don't stop, and encourage others to do it. And don't give up, because we will make the change. It's happening. And to be very honest, we are almost there. They reached the saturation, we call it in the engineering language. No more. What they can do more. And it's not only my opinion. Many other Israeli historians talking about it. Go read what is happening, what they are writing now. They are in trouble. They are in trouble. What to do more? Israel exposed itself to maximum. There is no way to return as it was before. The genocide label is forever. It's about reputation. It's about investment. It's about economy. It's about relationship. It's about many, many things. So, fear is a motivation to do things, not to prevent us from doing what we want.
That is the close of the